Okay, fifth graders, today is Wednesday, November 20th, and we're doing Module 2, Lesson 26. And as we predicted yesterday, when we were estimating, what did that lead us to do, to be able to do today? Real division, yeah. So today we're going to work on dividing decimals by two-digit divisors, okay? But first, let's talk about the problem of the day. Remember, whenever we divide by two-digit divisors, we always estimate and then we check, okay? Estimate and then divide and then we check at the end, okay? So let's set this problem up first. What's the whole?
904.
Okay. Who's knocking on the door?
32.
Go ahead and set that up. Now, what I like to do when I work with division is I like to think to myself, where do I start? Because a lot of times there's more than one division problem you're actually doing, right? Because there's lots of steps. We're going through dad, mom, sister, brother more than one time. So what I do is I mentally cover up the whole hole and I reveal one digit at a time. What's the first digit I could see? 9. It's actually 9 hundredths, but let's just think about it as 9. Could we divide 9 into 32? No. So we have to regroup it. That 9 hundredths can become 90
Tens.
If I add that, there's 0 tens to add to it. Could I divide 90 tens?
Yes.
Yeah. So our first real division problem would be 90 divided by 32, right? Which is pretty close to 90 divided by 30, which is? 3, good. Okay, so you can see our real first division problem is 90 divided by 32, but we can use our estimate to say that that's basically 3, okay? So, and by the way, it's 90 tens, right?
Yeah.
So the answer would be 3 tens, which just tells us that we have to put the 3 in the tens place, good. And then mom does what? What two numbers does mom need to multiply?
32 times 30.
Good. Which is?
96.
Uh-oh. What do we feel about that? Our estimate was too big. So what does that mean we have to do?
Make the 3 into 2.
Yeah, we got to try a smaller quotient. And now we'll multiply again. You'll notice I erased my quotient, but did I erase my original multiplication equation? Don't erase this because it might help you later. Okay, just leave it. 32 times 2 is 64. So let's let sister subtract 64. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. We don't want that, so let's regroup. 10 minus 4 is?
6.
8 minus 6 is?
2.
So we have 26 left over. Is that less than our divisor?
Yeah.
That tells us that it's probably correct. Okay, so let's go ahead and move. Okay, let's not do that. Let's get rid of this so that brother can bring down the next digit, which is?
4.
Okay, so what real division equation are we doing now?
264 divided by 32.
Good. Now, I don't know my 32s in my head, so let's use some estimation. 32 is pretty close to 30. What's pretty close to 264 that is divisible by 30? Tatiana? 270. But that's making it bigger, which I think is going to make my number too big. So if 270 is too big, what's one fact family smaller? Anirag? Okay, so what's 240 divided by 30? 8. And what's our units right now?
1.
Okay, so let's try putting a 8 in the ones place. What would I need to multiply if I was mom? Allie? Good, let's try it. 32 times 8. 16. 256. Oh, yeah, that seems promising. Okay, 4 minus 6 is negative 2. We don't want that, so let's regroup. What's 14 minus 6?
8.
Good. So what's my remainder?
8.
Is that less than 32?
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel pretty good about it. But the only thing left that I need to do is check. How can I check to make sure that 28, remainder 8, is indeed the correct answer? The problem's going to stay there, but that's okay. Keep that there. Okay, Shobit. Yeah. We could do 32 times 28, the divisor times the quotient. Let's go ahead and do that. 16, 256. When I do that, I get 896. But I have to add the remainder. So I'm going to do 896 plus 8, which is 904. That's my whole, so I like it. So far, have we learned anything new today? No, this is what we did last week, right? We learned how to divide whole numbers, like 904, by two-digit divisors, like 32. Today, we're going to see how we can divide decimals. You're going to see it's not all that different. Let's see. So this time, living in the house, our whole is 834 and 6/10. And our divisor of 26 is knocking on the door. So imagine that we cover up and we just reveal one digit at a time. What's our biggest digit that has value? 8. It's 8 what? 800s. Good. Could I divide 800s into 26? No. Let's regroup it. Now we have 83. Can we divide that into 26? Yeah, because it's bigger. So our first real problem that we'd be doing is 83 tens divided by 26. Okay, so let's use an estimate to help us. 26 is pretty close to? 30. Okay. So then we have to think about our threes. What would be pretty close to 83 tens? That's divisible by 30. Gotta think about it. What about 81 tens?
Yes.
But because it's 30, I don't know. Why don't we?
Yeah, it's not divisible.
Because if you add 8 plus 9,
It is divisible,
9 is divisible.
Oh, yeah.
right? But I don't know if it's divisible by 30 though, because it's 3 tens. That's the only thing. So let's do. What about 90? We're making it bigger, but let's see what happens. Okay, 90 tens. Because I know in my head that 90 tens divided by 30 is 3 tens. The worst case, it'll just be too big, and then we'll try 2, right? So let's put a 3 in the tens place. And what does mom need to multiply? Everyone?
26 times 30.
It's 1878. Ooh, see? It worked. You never know until you try, right? Okay, what's 83 minus 78?
5.
Good. Okay, what's brother bringing down?
4.
So what's our new division equation for our next cycle of dad, mom, sister, brother?
54 divided by 26.
Good. And you didn't say any units, but actually you're right, because it is 54 ones, right? Divided by 26. So let's estimate. 26 is pretty close to?
30.
54 is pretty close to? 60. So what's 61s divided by 30?
2.
So let's try by putting a 2
1.
in the ones place. What multiplication equation are we doing now?
26 times 2.
Okay, let's do it. 52. Ooh. Nice. What's left over? 2 ones. Is there anything for brother to bring down? The 6. So what does this mean? This is 26?
10.
Ah, 26 tenths. So now our real equation is 26 tenths divided by 26, which is going to be 1. 1?
10.
Watch what happens if I just put a 1 there. Then what is it? And I multiply, right? And I have nothing left over. What does it look like my quotient is?
321.
Yeah. What was the problem? The 1 is supposed to be in the tenths place. How can I make sure that the 1 is in the tenths place? Gaurav?
Put a decimal point in between.
Yeah. Now, this is a time when there's another trick that a lot of people just say. A lot of people say when you divide and you have a decimal in the whole, which we do, it takes an elevator ride directly up and you put a decimal point in the quotient. You probably heard that before. But why? It's because when we divided 26, it was really 26 tenths. Okay? So you'll see that everything when we divide, all the place value, it's like we could do this on a place value chart. Right? Do you guys agree? This would all be in the tenths place. This is all the ones place. This is all the tens place, and this is all the hundreds place. Okay, we have to keep things lined up. So what's my quotient? 32 and 110. How can I check? How can I check to see if that is actually correct? Ikaksh?
You can do 32 and 1 and times the divisor, which is 26.
Good. Okay, are we ready to multiply?
No.
What do we have to do?
Change it.
We have to change. What would our change be?
Times
Times 10.
Good. A lot of you, for some reason, always say times 100. That's not the case. We only have to times 10, right? Because that would move that there. Let's go ahead and multiply. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Now we're working in the tens. Let's put a placeholder 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. Let's add. 6, 4, 3, 8. Okay, my answer is 8,346. But I need to?
Undo.
What would my undo be?
Divide by 10.
Should put the decimal point there. 834.6. Is that what we want?
Yes.
So our answer, our quotient of 32.1 is correct.